Andrew McCart, iFLTV. I'm delighted to be joined by Callum Simpson. Callum, first and foremost, how are you? Because I mean, this is the shortest training camp you've probably had in your career. You're back out soon, so how's life after that fantastic?
Yeah, everything's good, thank you, mate. I'm very well. How are you? You all right?
Very, very well, mate. Listen, I was down
Good,
in
good.
Sheffield for your fight. Steed Woodall is no mug, and I guess you fighting again in a couple of weeks' time is just testament to how not so much easy the fight was, is how the demolition job that you did in such quick time. You only done it in less than 2 rounds, which is quite fantastic. But talk to me about the Steed Woodall fight and the level that you're at, that you believe you're at, because you've ran through that domestic scene now. You're the British Commonwealth champion. What's it looking like right now for you in 2025? What's the hopes and dreams?
Yeah, so like first with the Steve Woodall fight, even in the build up, I was saying that obviously I'm the British Commonwealth champion at the minute, um, but I believe that I'm above British level. But I also believe that Steve Woodall's above British level as well. But yeah, like I said, I showed how I deal with how I dealt with him. I don't think anyone's ever done that to him before, and I don't think anyone expected me to do that, especially in that fashion as well. And I did think I was going to stop him, but I thought it'd come a little bit later. But I caught him with some lovely shots, and yeah, especially the first knockdown, were a very heavy knockdown. Watched it back plenty of times, but yeah, I think again, I believe I'm above British level, and the domestic scene now. Like, I rank number one in UK, defending my title. I do want to win the British outright, but it's just about how long it's going to take. Are the fights there to make? And yeah, so it might be a case of trying to push on, but again, obviously, I've got this fight coming up now, and we'll see after. We'll sit down. I'll sit down with manager Kevin and Ben and Boxer and see what's next. See what if you want to push on or defend the British. We'll have a look.
Well, you're defending your Commonwealth against Elvis Ahorga. I think that's how you pronounce his
That's
name.
right.
Forgive me if
Yeah,
I've got that right, wrong. Sorry. You know, he looks like a tough little. These sort of unknown fighters that you're unheard of, but they've got this crazy record. I think he's had 13 wins and 12 knockouts, and then wins with two losses. So he can pack a punch. He's probably unknown. There's probably not much footage of him. How dangerous is this fight for you? Because, like I say, you're just coming off that great win against Steed Woodall, the euphoria off that, but then not maybe taking a step back, but a quick turnaround and fighting somebody who's relatively unknown. So, how dangerous is this fight for you?
yeah. I think these fights can be the most dangerous. I think people, they get an opponent. They might not think too much towards. There might not be too much footage of him. You can't really study him like that, and the yeah, and the maybe yeah, that's it. They might overlook him sometimes, but with me, I know that every fight I go into it's my toughest fight. I've had. Again, like I said, the training camp for Steed went great, and I was in the gym 2 days after on the Monday anyway, training twice most days last week. Ready. I was staying ready, not for this fight, but I'm in the gym anyway. But yeah, it can be a dangerous fight if someone goes there and you know doesn't underperforms. But I know that I'm not going to underperform. I know I'm expecting to be in for a tough fight. Like I say, record, he can obviously pack a punch. I've seen a little bit of footage of him, but there's not much out there, so it's hard to go off. So yeah, I'm just going to go in there prepared to fight the best. Ahoga, I believe his name is. So yeah, we'll see how it goes on, but we'll not know till we're in the ring.
Definitely. That's what makes it an exciting fight. And I've got to say, before we pushed record on this interview there, we were talking about I was talking to Dan there about my fight of being a ticket seller up here. It's not turned
Yeah,
pro yet. And I said, there's one ticket seller, and that's yourself. I mean, you can shift a ticket. You've done good numbers for Sheffield. Such a quick turnover after New Year and Christmas. And we know how much people are struggling this day and age and with Christmas and New Year, but you can still grab a following that comes and follows you no matter where. So Sheffield, you packed out the arena. How many fans
yeah,
are you
yeah.
taking down to London? Are they have they
Yeah, so
managed to
so
save up?
yeah, so obviously I think we sold out within 2 days, 7,000. I did over 2,000 myself physically. In Sheffield, we sold out the venue 2,500 within a week. I did just over 1,000 of them myself, and then I think this one, we've got a week and a half notice for the fight, and I think there's just over 200 coming down so far. So I'm putting in my ticket order tonight. So hopefully get them by end of this weekend, and yeah, get them dished out early next week. But yeah, there's a few coaches coming down from the Barnsley support groups. Obviously Reds and East Team Reds are coming, and there's plenty of making their own way down as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a great night. And again, like I think in the Sky interview after my fight, they said, "Oh, you've got great fans, but it's not they're not fans. It's friends, family, and it's my community. Like I'm in Barnsley all the time, you know, out and about, you know, seeing people, meeting people, you know, dropping tickets off myself, and you know, like when I do my ring walks, it's like I know them all. I know them all by name pretty much, you know. So it's like I'm fighting in my own living room whenever I go to any venue. To be fair.
That's going to stand you in good stead because sometimes, as you probably know, Cam, the support give you that extra 5% in a fight. When the going gets tough, they're there to give you that extra 5% to push on. Have you felt that in a fight yet, where maybe the fight isn't going your way, or you've been clipped by a shot, but the crowd's there to pick you up? Have you felt that yet?
Um, I don't know because I go into every fight and like it doesn't matter if the crowd's there or not. I'm still gonna dig deep, try my best to win. But it is nice when you know you land a good shot and the crowds are going crazy and they're going mad, and it's yeah. So it's a good, and the atmosphere is great. And the thing as well, it's like I know they're having a good night as well. So
Mm.
it's you know when I speak to them after when they're sending me videos, photos of the night, and it's just like everyone has such a good time. And again, it's like it's different people from like my community, my friends and stuff that meet each other on fight night. So there'll be lads from gym meeting end up meeting someone that I know from school, or my
Mm.
mum's friends meeting my brother's mates, or like my mates meeting my mates from that I used to went to college with, or my work mates meeting so and so. So it's yeah, so it's crazy just that everyone's all in one space and one venue just to come and support me. So yeah, it's that's one of the great things about it as well.
Well, you touched on Oakwell there. I was at Oakwell in the summertime, and we had one side of the stadium, and it was sort of like close, just that one half of the stadium. And I was speaking to Ben about putting the whole stadium on, and he said, "Yeah, probably around May, June time." I think he said to me. Um, can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Can you sell out that whole stadium? I know you got a big following in Barnsley, but can the Barnsley support come out and support you in that stadium?
I believe so, mate. You know, I believe so. You know, we did 7,000 within 2 days.
Mm.
So you know, I believe it did record-breaking pre-sale sign-ups and pre-sales, which is massive to see how many big shows Boxer have done other than the pay-per-view. Sorry, which is massive. So yeah, I believe we can get it sold out. You know, and I think as well the thing that people are forgetting is we did the 7,000 within 2 days, just off the back of my fight being announced. There was no undercard announced, no co-main event, no chief support announced. It was literally just off the back of my fight being announced, and nobody knew who Chelly was other than if you're not a boxing fan, you don't know who Chelly is. So it wasn't even the thought it was going to be a great fight between Callum and Chelly. It wasn't. It was just they just come to support me. They're just Callum Simpson, and most of them aren't even boxing fans. They're just like I say, it's just a community. We all get together, get behind each other, and again, I think that everyone had such an amazing night at Oakwell on the 3rd of August last year. I think the people that did miss out, I don't think they're going to want to miss out on the next one.
Mm. Now, you mentioned Zach Chili there, maybe not the name that a lot of boxing fans know. So, for you to get that whole stadium with the ring bang in that center circle, when I'm looking at the super middleweight division, you've obviously got Canelo Alvarez, and he's the top dog, and to get that fight's probably going to be very, very hard. But when you look at James
We'll
Underwood,
bring him next year. We'll extend Oakwell, and we'll extend the stadium and bring him over here next summer.
well,
I'm like
that's
that.
a, well, I'll be there. I'll tell you right now, if you can get Canelo to Oakwell, then I'll be there. But Callum, when I look at the super middleweight division, other than Canelo, it's screaming out for a big household UK name. I mean,
Yeah,
we super
yeah,
middleweight division in the UK's all we've always had that household name. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Whether it be the Eubanks or the Bens or Calzaghes,
yeah.
Carl Frotchis, it's always been a household name. Now, for you to branch out to be bigger, what kind of opponent? When I look at, like I said to you there, Diego Pacheco from America, Edgar Berlanga, they're names that we know. They're fights. They're guys that
Yeah,
can give you
yeah.
a good fight, and it'll be an exciting. It'll put bums on seats. When I say those two names, I know there's obviously Christian and Belly as well. Are those the names you're chasing? Have you spoke to Ben yet about these sort of names?
Not particularly those sort of names. You know, I want to push on to European. You know, I want to win a European title first and step up in levels the proper way. I don't just want to say next fight's for a world title. I want to,
Mm.
you know, I want to build in levels, and I want to, you know, I want all the belts. You could say, you know, I do want to win the British outright. But like you said, looking domestically, there's no names. Like say we used to have the Eubanks, Calzaghe, Froch Groves, even De Gale, Callum Smith, big names, household names, and now we've just not got that. And I believe that I'm going to be the next one to come through, and I feel like I'm doing it the right way. You know, trying to build, step up in levels every fight. You know, and trying to be entertaining as well. But yeah, it's just about trying to. I think we're going to try and step up to maybe European level next. I don't know, or maybe win the British outright. But again, obviously that I went to meet our manager Kevin last week to discuss what was next, and which was going to be the next fight at Oakwell. And yeah, obviously, I got this. I got offered this instead. So we'll resume that conversation after this next fight.
Wait, I mean, Ben was at the Ring Magazine Awards when your fight was on, and
Yeah,
people were asking him, shouldn't you not have been Callum Simpson? But he said, I'm here. This is where the deals get made. I mean, Eddie
yeah,
Hall's
yeah.
over there, Frank Warren's over there, Oscar De La Hoya's over there. So you've had your meeting and you sit down with Kevin Murray. And I don't want listen, you can probably say no comment on this, but what conversations have you had with Ben? I know you had lunch with him the other day that I saw it on your Instagram, I believe. So what conversations were being had then? What sort of fights are we looking for then?
Yeah, so Ben was obviously at my at the event all fight week. Well, sorry, at the full fight week in Sheffield, and you know, I've spoke to him a few times about him going to Ring Magazine, and when that got announced, the Ring Magazine date, I thought, oh, Ben will be going to that. Like I thought he's got to go to it, and I think I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter about, oh, Ben went at Callum show, what kind of promoter is he? But let me just say that I had no issues with Ben going to Ring Magazine, Ring Magazine Awards. He should have been there, and again, it was that's where the fights are getting made. It needs to be there to build the relationships with the Riyadh season and is it Turkey? I think it is as well, and the ring. So yeah, you have to be there, mate. Just not opportunities for me, but for the rest of the stable as well. So yeah, you have to be there. And but yeah, I spoke to Ben. Obviously, invited me down to London on the Monday after. Stayed over there, and yeah, we had some. To be fair, it wasn't even a business chat; it was more just a catch up. To be fair, but yeah, obviously, Oakwell's will be next, and the boxers are going to give me opportunities. I've been with them. I've had 6 fights with them. The current British Commonwealth, WBA, Continental, WBO, Intercontinental champion, ranked number 1 in UK, top 10 ranked with multiple world governing bodies. Yeah, the world's my oyster, and going to be headlining again in a couple of months. So yeah, after this fight, we'll have a sit down, have a chat in terms of opponents and what we think the best career path is for me.
Callum, a couple more from me. Now, you mentioned Turkey Al Sheikh and Riyadh season, and I know like a young fighter, there's dreams of becoming a world champion and maybe selling out your hometown and maybe your football team stadium. You're doing that in such a young sort of like the fledgling part of your career already, which is fantastic. But when you talk about Riyadh season and you see these magnificent shows out there in Saudi Arabia and Wembley and LA, the Riyadh season shows, are you itching to get one of these?
Not yet, mate. Not yet. I'm happy selling at my own town football stadium. I've been to Riyadh season for the Batavia Bibol show. I've seen what it's about, and my time will come. I've worked too hard not to enjoy the now and what I've got coming up next. I'm not bothered about thinking, oh, I wish I were on this show, I wish I were on that show. That's all gonna come. We're gonna have a great week next week, a great fight my next fight, and then we're gonna, sell out my own town football stadium. It's what dreams are made of. So. No, I'm not itching to get on a Riyadh season show. I'm not itching to do anything else. I'm happy where I am. Happy but not complacent, I suppose. The Riyadh season will come.
Very mature answer. You're listening, and I'm loving these answers. And when you mention I know you're going to bring Canelo to Oakwell in 2026. I know that's going to be a
Hmm.
fact. But I'll be remiss of me not to talk about when you look at Canelo, he's in your division, and I guess you study him and you watch him, but then you look at this Terence Crawford fight and the possibility of that happening in September. How do you see that fight? Is it just a case of Canelo being too big for Crawford?
To be honest, I've only watched like one Canelo fight, and I've
Really?
watched probably one Terence Crawford fight. So I don't even know, mate. I'm a proper armchair casual fan. I don't even know any boxers. I don't know. Well, I know a few, but I just watch. I'm literally when someone says, "Oh, I only watch the big fights." That's
Yeah.
literally me, and I don't even watch that many big fights either. I go to the boxer shows. Go to a few. I probably watch more small all boxing. Support more small all boxers than the bigger shows. To be fair, I love going to the boxer shows and the boxer events are always great. But in terms of like on the world scene, I just kind of stay in my lane and see what's next, and the opponents I'm going to be fighting. But yeah, I should watch more. But when I watch like top sub middleweights, I think oh, they're not even that good. Like in mid, I think they're going to be amazing. I think oh, they're not even that good actually. Like I'm better than them. But yeah, I might have to watch them. I might have to give them both a good watch next couple of days, and then next time I see you, we can answer that question again. I'll give you a proper answer.
Fantastic, Cam. Listen, excellent. Now, again, one final one then. you cannot take your eye off the ball. We're talking about Oakwell, we're talking about Canelo and all these guys and big Riyadh season fights and whatnot. But you have got a tough test. Like I said, unknown fighter, high knockout ratio. I mean, he's coming to win. Let's be honest. It's for
Yeah.
your Commonwealth title. And Elvis Ahorga, again, forgive me if I forgot his name wrong there. What is going to happen on February 1st?
One or two things. I'm either gonna obviously for the Steed Woodall fight, we worked on a lot in camp. Using my jab because I've got a great jab, but I just like to get stuck in, so I kind of rush in and fall in a little bit. Whereas with Steed, I've got my jab out there, pumping the jab out, kept the distance, use my range. I'm 6'3", I'm very big at the weight. Use my range, and we did some good things that we've been doing in sparring and training and working towards. So I'm either gonna do a bit more of that and kind of show to myself and not to anyone else, but for so my coach knows and I know that I can do the things in the fight we do in the gym, or it's going to be a demolition job. We'll see. It might be a mix of both. Might be a mix of both. But as well, just to touch on, you mentioned not overlooking fighters and looking past them. But I think for me, I think a lot of boxers they can't look into their future like they can't see you can't they look past fighters and that's where they lose their focus. But for me, when I fought at O2 Arena, I knew I had to win that fight for Oakwell to happen. And when I fought Chelly again, I knew there were going to be a big fight after that. And going into the Steed Woodall fight, I was told you beat Steed Woodall, you're going to be fighting at Oakwell again, full stadium. So I think for me, I'm a fighter that can handle that kind of pressure. I don't really feel pressure, to be fair. I don't really feel like that. I'm a fighter that can stay focused. And I think maybe I do look past my opponents, but I never overlook them, if that makes sense, because I'm confident. Anyone that I fight, I'm confident I'm going to beat. But I'm confident because I train too hard not to be confident, and I believe in my ability. I believe in my preparation, and yeah. So I never overlook them, but you could say I look past them because I believe I'm going to beat them, I suppose.
Cam, I tell you what, these answers have been very, very mature, and I think that you're maturing as a fighter as well. The way you fight, and you know what, you keep doing what you're doing. Come tail into 2025, 2026, I can actually see you in a huge, huge fight against one of these top dogs in the super middleweight division. So listen, good luck
Thank
on
you,
the
thank
1st of
you.
February. And listen, I won't be there, but I will be sitting on my couch over here watching the fight. And if you can make it a demolition job, I'm all for it.
That's it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Depends how much I've had for breakfast.
Oh, there you go then.
Depends if I'm
There you
nice
go.
and full or not. Or if I've had too much, I might have to. If I feel a bit bloated, I might not be able to box as well. So I'll not
Okay,
eat
end
too.
it
We'll
quick.
see. That's it.
Listen,
Yeah.
thanks
Thank you,
very much,
mate.
champ. Appreciate your time. And yeah, good luck. And I'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate. Take
Thank you,
care.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.